So hello everyone, welcome once again to another chapter of React development. In the previous chapter, we discussed about some basics of components, like what a component is and how is it used. So you learned that when we created this nav.jsx component inside the components folder, we imported React from React. An arrow function for this, nav is created, which is nav or nav bar in our case. It is returning this simple div which is nav bar, and in this div we have just written the text, nothing more. And the most important thing is we should be exporting this component also, like whatever this function is returning, we should be exporting nav. It is like you are returning this, right? When you are exporting this, then only you can go to main.jsx and there you can call this component. Okay, so this way you can create something. Now let's say we want to create another component here, and in our component we want to create a user component which we will call patients. Okay, because patients, or if it's a hospital app, if it's a hotel app, let's say employees, or let's say clients or customers, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we are going to create customer card here, and we are going to show that in our app which we can see here. Okay, so to do that, first we will go to the components folder. So this is what our app is looking like. You must see the previous videos to understand this. Otherwise, in order to create a component, just go to your app's src folder, and in your src folder go to components folder. This folder is not there by default, you have to create this folder, and inside your folder we will create a new file we will call customer card. Okay, and when we will create this folder called customer card, then in customer card we are going to create uh sorry, we will not create this folder, sorry. In components, we are going to create a new file which we will call it customer card .jsx. Okay, so this we will create JavaScript XML file, and in order to define its styling, we will create another file which we will call customer card .css. So this way we have created this. Now inside the customer card, we have to do the same thing as we did in case of nav. We will write RAFCE, and it will create this arrow function for us with a simple div where we have the customer card. Okay, in this div what we are going to do, instead of div, we will again call it, we will create some components also. Okay, so let's expand this div. If it is a customer card, obviously there will be a customer name. So let's say in H3 or H4 tag, we are going to display the customer name. Okay, so let's say customer name, and this will be like that. Yeah, so this will display the customer name. Here I am going to write img src is equal to something. So we are going to use image tag here, and in image source we will write something. Alternate text is going to be the customer name. Suppose this image fails to load in some cases, so this alt will give us that customer's name. And here we will write some customer's detail. For example, let's say customer address. Okay, something like that. So this way we are creating one card. Card means this thing can be repeated n number of times. Obviously, how dynamically it is going to fetch data, that is something we will discuss later. But right now we are just defining it. Now here in customer card .css we will write some styling. Okay, so before writing styling, what we have to do is we have to define some class here. And class, what we used to do in HTML, we used to write class here, and we used to define some class, for example btn or something, let's say bg primary. If you are familiar with bootstrap framework, bg primary gives you a blue background, but here you have to provide it like class name, because class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. So we have to write class name. That is the only change. So let's say class name is bg primary. Okay, and here we will define what bg primary is. Okay, so bg primary, we will say background color is going to be blue, and let's say a very light blue color, so that we can see different elements. Let's say this color. Okay, so we have done that. So, and as you can see, I am in the folder file explorer mode, or I am just viewing the folder where my hotel app is there. Here src is there, here assets are there. So I have just written customer.jpg. I have used this random customer image here. Okay, so I will go here, and you can see inside assets customer jpg is there. So in assets, as we discussed earlier also, we will keep the static files, and customer.jpg, let's say, is a placeholder file that we are going to use for customers. Now when we go to customer card, we what we have to do is we have to import this. Okay, so the name is customer, so we will import customer from. Okay, and we will write the components folder, and in components folder, sorry, this is assets, so we will write assets folder, and in assets folder we will write customer.jpg. jpg, that's the extension, so we'll use that. And now it is saying this is used, but its value is never read. Okay, so we have imported that file. This means that we are importing that file in this JSX file, and once we have imported that, we can use that variable. So we can use curly braces, and inside curly braces we will just write customer. So what this customer means is, this customer simply means that this is that image. Okay, and this is what we have done so far. Now what we can do is we can go to main.jsx, and between nav and app we will import customer card. Okay, so we will customer card, and this will automatically import the JSX file for you from components. All you have to do is you have to write it like this. Okay, now let's go to our, and we can see uh, that something is missing. Let's try to fix that. What is missing? So if you see, we wanted to write customer address here. Instead, this tag was opening and closing address tag was created. So what we'll see, we have to write customer address here. So this is creating, this automatic suggestion is creating some problem. So okay, so customer address will come here. Okay, yeah. Now there is one more mistake which I will tell you, but you can see that below the name bar, customer name, customer, the alt text and the customer address are appearing. Okay, a very basic mistake that I have made is, so when you usually use SRC tag, you use it, you use the quotations, right? Double quotes. Inside double quotes, you write the address. But but here we are using this customer which we have imported from here. Okay, so we don't we don't have to use this simply. This way, this customer will come from import customer. Okay, and what is there? The value assets customer JPG. Where you will go here, you will see. So this way, nav bar, customer name, customer address. Okay. Now, when we are viewing this, you know that nav bar is coming, customer name is coming, everything is okay. But the problem is we have defined some CSS. Like we have said the BG should be this. Okay. Now, first of all, let's take some bright color so that if that color is visible, it will be obviously clearly visible on our div. You can see. Okay. If suppose this is not happening, okay. So what you have to do is you have to import and write it like this. You have to import the CSS class also, and you have to write dot slash and then your customer card CSS. Okay. So this will help you in properly listing it, even though because we have used the same name. So if you are not using it, you can see it is not displaying it. When you are using it, it is displaying that. So this way, if you have defined some CSS, you can use that. Let's go inside nav. Same in nav. Let's say we want to call it nav bar. Okay, this is the class. Let's get nav bar dark or BG dark, and we will say the background color is black color. Font size is, let's say, 13 pixel. Font color is going to be hashtag triple F. So triple F stands for white. If you want to use any other color, let's say this color, you can choose it. So this is what our navbar is going to look like. And let's say padding is 10 pixel. Okay, something like that. Whatever you want to do, you can define here. And we have to give class name as BG dark. Okay, and this class name, if we want to give the same styling, what we have to do, similarly we have to import dot forward slash nav dot css. Okay, this way it will import, and when you will see here, you will see our nav bar is appearing. So our nav bar is taking this space and it is appearing like that. Okay, you can define width, height, you can see the padding, font color, you can see the font size, you can define font family, whatever you want to define. Okay, one more thing I want to add here, because we have three, let's say there are three customers that we want to display. So obviously we have created the card, and inside the main JSX we have only displayed one customer card. Let's copy this and paste this three times. Okay, if you will paste this three times, you will see three customers cards or three customer cards will appear. So it is appearing like this. Let's try something else. Let's cut it from here, because nav and app are both already being called here in our main.jsx. Let's go to app and app.jsx, and here what we are going to do, first let's remove these two logos, and here let's call customer card. Okay, let's save this. So if we save this, see nothing is appearing. Okay, because here also we have to import that. So as we imported, you know, uh, customer card, so here we are not using customer card anymore, but we are going to use it in app.jsx. So we will import that. Okay, and it started appearing again. So either we can do it in nav itself, but better thing will be to, because we are designing everything in app.jsx itself, so it is like that. Okay, and let's call this div class name as container. So we are calling it a container, and it already has a css file. Okay, in css file of app we are going to use container, and let's define container first. Okay, so inside container we will write display, and inside here we want to use display. Let's try flex. Okay, so when we wrote flex, you can see it started appearing like this. Let's give some gap. So let's say gap is 2 pixel. Okay, you can see. Let's increase the gap to 12 pixel. 122 is too much. Yeah. So this, and let's say padding as padding right and left we will give either. So let's say padding right is 10 pixel, and similarly padding left is also 10 pixel. There is a shortcut also which I will explain later, but again CSS and this is something that you can do as per your knowledge. And obviously there are dedicated videos for uh, CSS, HTML and JavaScript as well, which we will share later, which we have or you can already see on our channel. Sorry. So this way you can create something like that. Okay. So components, as you can see, obviously currently we are only building static components. So everything that you are seeing here is a static thing. Design is also not looking very pretty, but obviously with more practice and more understanding, you will get hold of it, and you will, once you have understood how to, you know, call these things, how to do this, so you will be able to uh, create this entirely from scratch. So this particular thing that you are seeing here is a way of creating some components in your app and displaying them on the home page. Conditional display can also be there, and dynamic display can also be there. How will it be done? That is something that we are going to learn in upcoming chapters.